What's up, everyone? Feels good to be back. Happy 9/11. Never forget. Hell yeah. Tonight's just a chill stream. No programming. I know that's the new normal, but we're sticking with it. We're just going to play some Elden Ring. We're going to play some cooking videos. Let's see. Last time we left off in Elden Ring, we had been meaning to explore two new areas, the underground city and the Halig tree. I literally didn't know how to go to either of those places. Let me put up my game here. There we go. I looked it up. I cheated. I looked up the wiki how to do that. And yeah, it turns out, well, we'll get into it. Anyway, we're going to listen to cooking podcasts, lots of those to catch up on. For Madame Ragusia. So let's load the game. Okay, cool. You can hear it. He can hear me. I can hear it. Everything's working well. All right. Oh my God, that's a lot of souls. We've got over 1 million souls. Just to get a little bit of a refresher, let's do another farming run. Oh, that was terrible timing. A little bit out of practice. There we go. I was thinking of changing my build. What would be really cool is if my good friend Haru would tune into the stream, because I could use some advice on how to change my build. We might actually just watch a video from VatiVidya about Elden Ring builds. I watched it once. It was really good. I didn't know there was so much cool synergy you could get. I have like 105 poise, but I still can't tank two of his hits in a row. These guys are hearts. It never takes me this long. Finally. All right. Just getting back into it. How have you been? I've been all right. Just working hard every day to make money. And yeah, it's my weekend, so I thought I'd sit down and play some games with y'all. Come on. Come out here. Leave the safety of your friend. Yes. That's the combo. One mounted attack, one jumping, dismounting attack, and then some other sort of heavy attack. And that'll do it. 25,000 souls. Mounted attack. I missed it. Try another mounted attack. Jumping attack. And that's how you do it. If I'd empowered my weapon, it would have been a clean kill. So let's see. I don't know whether we should do the Halig tree first or the underground city. I'm sure that the underground city is a lower level because you're supposed to have gone there a long time ago. I didn't know this, but it's wait a second. Oh, I forgot to empower my first attack. That was a noob mistake. Oh my God. I didn't realize this, but killing Radon is what unlocks the underground city. Like when he does that thing with the stars, they all like move really fast. That triggers a big hole in the ground in Limgrave, in the forest where the big bears are, and you can just go down into that hole. So probably do that. Yeah, we'll do that first. We'll do the Halig tree afterwards, or maybe concurrently. I don't know. I really need to improve my build. I'm still just sword and shielding it. I need to learn how to use some magic or some skills or some summons. I'm just missing out on like half the game, you know? I mean, I've got a lot of damage, but it could be more, you know? That's the way you do it. One more. And then... Oh, there's one other thing. Turns out that I did not fully complete the catacombs on the top of the mountaintop of the giants. So I figured out how to access the boss room, and I haven't actually fought the boss because I have too many souls on the line. I wanted to do my big respecialization before I did that, because I don't know where I want to put these points. I guess I should just level up something random and then use the Renala rune to respecialize later. Let's do that. I'll just dump it into intelligence, and then we'll go explore the underground city. Nice. That is expensive. We're having fun. And I think everything's working on the technical side. All right. There's a big empty space. That's where the Halig tree is. I did figure out that you're supposed to go to the Grand Lift of Rold. Did not bother to read the item descriptions, or that would have been quite obvious. What is that? Volcano Menor Request. Istvan. Huh. Says kind of fun, actually. I think I'll check that out. Once we get going in the underground city. Oh, I forgot how beautiful it is here. The way they did the leaves wrestling, it's gorgeous. This game is amazing. Do I have my graphics turned all the way up? Yes, I do. 1080p, 60 FPS, perfect for streaming. What are you doing here? There's no Everjail around here, is there? 100% thought it was pronounced Evergaol. Turns out it's Everjail, which makes sense. It's a jail. It's where you put... Bullshit! It's not like they're really a threat. I'm extremely overleveled. It's a little bit sad, actually. I should figure out how to delay the rest of the stream so that you can hear me at the correct time, you know? Because right now you're hearing my reactions to things like 5 seconds after it happens. That's not ideal. Is this it? It is. What is this? Oh. Oh. Right, because the Volcano Manor is all about invading people. Yeah, fuck it. YOLO. Let's do it. I bet I'm over-leveled for you, so it won't be that hard. Who are we killing? Defeat Istvan. I can do that. It's too easy. He's weak. You're weak, old knight. Old man. Oh, he's out of Estus. That was cool. Yeah, you are way lower level than me. Kind of wish I'd done this when it was harder. Nice. Sometimes I want to restart the game, knowing everything I know now, just like beat the game at the correct pace. I'm taking way too long to beat the game. Oh, nice. Scaled armor. Probably not as good as the Lionel's armor that I'm wearing. But yeah, you know, I'm so over-leveled for everything except for the latest of game. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. So... I saw Blide the half-wolf. Or maybe his ghost? I'm not sure. Oh yeah, there it is. Gravity itself has ceased to function, and there's just rocks rising out of the earth. Big waterfall. And a helical ramp. So let's descend that helical ramp and enter the underground city. I forget what it's called. I'm sure it'll be on the screen soon. This feels like a good time to put the podcast on the screen. I'll pause it if anything interesting happens as we descend. Let me pull that up. We're going to learn about baking versus cooking. Also, math class versus art class. There we go. There he is. Love that guy. What you got for us today, Adam?
It's the Adam Ragusa podcast, episode 69. Nice. Let me ask you something. What's harder, baking or cooking? This is, to me,
nice.
A really interesting question, because I think that it might be like the exact same question as what's harder, STEM or the humanities? STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. What's harder, STEM or the humanities? Math class versus art class. Science class versus literature. Which is harder? I think that baking versus cooking is an almost perfectly parallel question. And of course, it's a question with no one answer. Difficulty is subjective, as is any ultimate
I guess I'm supposed to jump. All right, YOLO. Okay. Nope, that wasn't it. Am I supposed to, like, jump from rock to rock? Like, what's colored out here?
Definition of success in food preparation, therefore, it's a question with no one answer. Difficulty is subjective, as is any ultimate definition of success in food preparation. Therefore, one pursuit cannot be said to be harder for everyone, everywhere. It depends on the context. It depends on the person. It depends on the person's individual interpretation of the question and of the factors one would consider to muster an answer. And of course, now we have yet another perfectly parallel question to ask. Which is harder? Questions for which the answer is elusive versus questions that have no one answer. That's STEM versus humanities in a nutshell. Also, baking versus cooking. Kind of. One thing I can tell you for sure is that when I am developing recipes for my YouTube channel, the baking recipes usually take a lot longer. I cannot go into a baking recipe with like 2 days until deadline. I have to leave myself at least one full day to do like a dozen test bakes before I can even begin production of the actual video. In contrast with cooking recipes, sometimes I can get away with doing a single practice run before I shoot. I still would not call cooking easier. I might say that it's harder to develop baking recipes, but it does not necessarily follow that baking is harder, since most of the baking that gets done in this world every day is from established, time-tested recipes. Few people ever need to develop new baking recipes themselves. And here, we must start to untangle our terminology before we can proceed, because cooking and baking are almost meaningless if taken at face value, right? A broad definition of cooking might be the act of preparing food for consumption. And anything that we could call baking would obviously fall under that definition of cooking. So that can't be what anybody actually means by cooking, since we have now set up cooking and baking in opposition to one another. A more narrow definition of cooking might be the act of preparing food with heat. which would also encompass baking, because baking is the act of preparing food by dry heat without direct exposure to flame, typically in an oven, quoth the Oxford English.
Oh, well, obviously this is it. Nice. We are on our way to the underground city.
Dictionary. Preparing food with heat. Baking sure sounds like cooking to me. But that is the OED's 1A definition of bake. Let's go on down to the 1B definition, which is to prepare and cook food, in later use especially bread, cakes, pastries, etc., in this way. To prepare it in this way. So, while we may prepare all kinds of foods with dry, indirect heat, well, baking...
Aw, can't take my horse.
In contemporary English refers specifically to the preparation of bread, cakes, and pastries with dry, indirect heat. When we cook vegetables or meat with dry, indirect heat, we usually call that roasting. You can throw a loaf of bread into the oven and it's baking. And then you can throw a skewer of vegetables into that very same oven at that very same time, and it will be roasting. We're verbing two different verbs in the same place at the same time via the same means. How does that work? It's because baking
My bad. I was talking, but I was muted. I was saying, like, if I had to guess, like, he's probably going to get into it, but if I had to guess, I'm thinking, like, baking is more of, like, a chemical reaction. Like there's something happening to the, well, no, the chemical reaction happens, like, beforehand when the dough rises. I don't know, like, if you're just baking, like, a potato, all you're doing is cooking it and browning it at the same time. But if you're baking like a loaf of bread, it's rising because the steam inside is puffing it up. But then we also say baking when things don't rise, like baking a graham cracker crust or something. Like that's just dehydrating and browning, which is the same thing you're doing to the potato, but we still call it baking. Is it just that there's starch in it? I don't know. Seems pretty arbitrary. Is it? That's how language works. Everything is arbitrary. Wonder what ChatGPT would say. We should do that. We should find out. Let's do it. Let's find out. Okay, full screen video. ChatGPT. 1 second. All right. We're going to ask ChatGPT, what's the difference between baking and cooking? Baking and cooking are both methods of preparing food using heat, but they have distinct characteristics, methods, and traditions. Here are some key differences between the two. Method of heat transfer. Baking typically is done in an oven where the heat is transferred by the surrounding air. This means the food bakes evenly on all sides. Cooking refers to a variety of heat-based methods that include boiling, frying, grilling, steaming, sautéing, and more. What about roasting? The heat transfer can come directly from a flame. The heat transfer can come directly from a flame, a hot surface, hot liquid, or steam. Number 2, types of food. Baking is often associated with bread, cakes, pastries, pies, and other dough or batter-based food. Cooking encompasses a broader range of foods, including meats, vegetables, greens, and stews. Oh, I lost it. One sec. Equipment. Baking. Ovens are the primary equipment, but there's also a plethora of specialized equipment such as baking sheets, pie tins, cake pans, and muffin tins. Cooking uses a wide variety of equipment depending on the Okay. We're just getting into... Okay. So it's just linguistics. It's just contextual linguistics. Baking requires precise temperatures because it's often based on chemical reactions. Hey, that's what I said. Like the reaction between baking soda and acid. Consistent heat ensures oven rising and prevents burning. Cooking, while some methods like deep frying or simmering require specific temperatures, many cooking methods like sautéing or frying are more forgiving with temperature variations. That is true. When I'm cooking, I do it entirely by vibes. I just sort of improvise, but I don't do that with baking. What about a pancake? Yeah, pancakes are very finicky. Duration. Baking takes longer, especially for larger items. Oh yeah, a roast. Bake the roast, roast the roast. Huh. The process is hands-off once the item is in the oven. I would like to roast some vegetables for dinner tonight. We'll talk about that more in a second. Cooking times can vary greatly, but many methods like frying or sautéing are often faster and require more hands-on attention. Precision. Often considered a science, even minor changes can drastically affect the outcome. Okay, it's repeating itself now. Cultural and traditional differences. Baking has deep roots in many cultures, with specific techniques and recipes passed down through generations, especially for bread and pastries. Cooking. While cooking also has strong cultural traditions, its breadth includes all the various methods and cuisines around the world. That is just meaningless words. In summary, while there is some overlap between baking and cooking, baking is more specialized and focused on an oven-based preparation, whereas cooking encompasses a broad range of heat-based methods. So let's see. What I was going to say is I bought a cabbage and some potatoes and some baby carrots and some bratwursts. And I know how to cook them, but I want to know if ChatGPT knows how to cook them. So I'm going to say I'm planning on roasting some half-inch russet potato medallions, some 1-inch cabbage cross sections, some baby carrots, and some bratwursts on a sheet pan in the oven at 375 degrees. Do you think I could do them all at the same time? Or should I stagger the addition of particular foods to accommodate different... That's not how you spell that. I can't right click. Okay, accommodate. Accommodate? No, accommodate. Accommodate. God damn it, how do you spell accommodate? Accommodate. Accommodate. Accommodations. Accommodate. Okay, it knows what I mean. Different. Okay, fine. I'll make a new window. And the last Batlin.
Oh, whoops. That's not what I meant to do.
There we go. Accommodate. Oh, it's 2 M's. Okay, there's 2 M's. To accommodate different cooking times. See what ChatGPT 4 has to say. Roasting multiple items on a sheet pan is convenient, but because different foods have varying cooking times, it can be a bit tricky. Based on the items you mentioned, here's a general guideline for roasting. Half-inch russet potato medallions. Potatoes typically take longer to roast until they're tender. Half-inch medallions might take around 30 minutes. Cabbage, 1-inch cross-sections. Cabbage roasts fairly quickly, especially when cut into cross-sections. You're looking at roughly 15 to 25 minutes. That's not true. Baby carrots are dense and can take time to roast. That's true. Bratwurst, depending on their size and thickness, can take a... Okay. Start with the potato medallions first. Thomas so smart. Place them on the sheet pan and roast for 10 minutes, then add the baby carrots and bratwursts, and then add the cabbage. I like my cabbage crispy, so... I agree, though. The potatoes need more time. And the cabbage, actually. I like the... So I'll do the potato and the cabbage, then add... Well, and the carrots. I like the carrots to be, like almost falling apart, like shriveled, you know? Yeah, so my plan was to do the baby carrots, the potatoes, and the cabbage for, 15 minutes, and then add the bratwursts, and then go for another 30 minutes. Give the vegetables 45 minutes. I want them to be fall apart tender and browned, like golden brown. Oh, I wanted to do garlic cloves. All right. Everything will be ready at roughly the same time. Delicious. Good job, ChatGPT. A+ for an AI.
The thing you do with breads and cakes and pastries, even when we don't bake them, even when we fry them or steam them, we still call it baking. That's how strong the association between the word and those kinds of foods has gotten in today's English. Baking equals breads, cakes, and pastries. My waffle recipe from a few weeks ago, was that a baking recipe? I thought of it as a baking recipe in my head, but a waffle iron uses direct heat, not indirect heat. You don't put the waffle in a box of hot air to bake.
So it's called Nokrong, the Eternal City. It's part of the river, you know? So let's see. I'm facing it that way. Whoa. So I'm facing towards places I've been before. Yeah, I cleared the Syofra River well depths. Then over here, there's a different river well, the Ainsel River. That was the one with all the ants. But, oh my goodness, what a cute little kitten. My kitten is curled up next to me. I wish I could show him to you. Someday, maybe. Someday. Yeah, so I'm facing the place I've been, so where is the city? Is it above it? So that thing hanging from the ceiling, that sort of inverted tower, that looks like where I came in. So yeah, that sliver over there, that's where I was before. That's where I explored before. I don't recognize that though. Oh wow, and I almost fell off. If only I had a giant butthole. Ha! That's funny. Funny. So funny. Behold, city! Well, this is fun. Alright, jumping down. Don't see any foes. Okay, is that a... No, it's not. Okay, let's just keep going. This reminds me of Bloodborne a little bit. The Gothic architecture. Wonder if that's a thing. You know, it's tempting to think that all these different things exist in the same universe. They don't, but it's tempting. Lowered head. Oh, hello. It's a lump. It's a shiny lump. Oh, okay. It can shoot me. That's cool. What? Oh, wow. I have been shot. Didn't really do much damage. Yep, I'm over-leveled for this area. Okay. Well, let's kill the lump. That was easy. Damn, I should have come down here earlier. I am so over-leveled. I didn't even kill Radon until I was like level 170. Also, I've been farming a lot. Probably shouldn't have done that. Can I, like, get rid of my points? I can put my points into something useless. I don't know. I don't need to do that. These things are cool. It's like a lump of molten metal. No, not molten, just liquid metal, like gallium or mercury. You know, gallium is solid at room temperature, but liquid just above room temperature. It wilts in your hand. It's also kind of toxic, so wear gloves. Let's get back to the podcast.
Bake. You smash it between two pieces of hot metal to, in essence, fry. Go into any large Western recipe depository and search in the baking section for no-bake cookies or no-bake cakes, and you will probably find several recipes. No-bake cookies in the baking section? Is baking just the act of making dessert? I'm not sure about that. Ice cream is dessert. One of the most popular desserts in the world.
The act
is ice cream
of
a
making
baked
dessert.
good? I don't think
Not
anyone
cold
would call
dessert.
it that.
Starchy dessert. Starchy dessert.
Bread making is a kind of baking. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. Is bread dessert? Sometimes, but not usually, right? In traditional French-style restaurant organization, there is usually a distinction between baking and pastry. The bread baker may work underneath the umbrella of the pastry department, or the baker may be a department unto themselves. But in a restaurant operated in the French style, which is like a whole lot of restaurants, baking usually refers to savory breads, and pastry refers to desserts. Even desserts that do not involve pastry. Pastry being a malleable dough made of flour and a watery liquid and usually lots of fat and sometimes sugar. Ice cream actually is pastry in this context, even though ice cream usually contains no pastry. Custard is pastry, meringue is pastry, etc., because they all come from the pastry department of the restaurant kitchen. Is a savory pie a pastry? Like what we'd call in North America a chicken pot pie, a savory stew baked with a layer of short crust or like...
It's a pastry. It's a pastry. That's my answer. I'm locking it in. Chicken pot pie is a pastry.
Puff pastry or biscuit dough on top. I imagine in some French-style kitchens, it is the pastry department's responsibility to make the dough for the chicken pies, but it's probably the chefs over in the cooking area who actually drape that dough over the stew and throw the whole thing in the oven to cook by means of indirect heat. Is it baked?
All right. I'm going to pause it real quick because we have a new enemy. And tiny little zombie, like a tiny little thing. He's got a ghost flame and a little sharp little sword. I feel like he's going to die real quick. Yep, doesn't do much damage. Huh. Alright, well that wasn't worth pausing the video. Let's get back to it.
Baking or roasting in there? That dough over the stew and throw the whole thing in the oven to cook by means of indirect heat. Is it baking or roasting in there? It's chicken, which suggests roasting, but it's also dough, which suggests baking. I feel like if we keep pursuing this particular question, we might create a singularity that sucks in our entire region of the galaxy. The point is, Baking is not necessarily dessert, and it's not necessarily the thing you do with an oven. What is it, necessarily? What's the common denominator of all of these recipes deemed
Nice.
baking?
Set of grace.
Are they all based on grain? I don't know. I can think of a lot of grain-based dishes that no one would call baking dishes, like a bowl of steamed rice, or oatmeal, or farro, or noodles, pasta, dumplings, etc. All of those are grain-based. All of them you could prepare in the oven. None of them are baked goods. Are baked goods based on grain flour, specifically? Like a bowl of farro grains, whole wheat grains boiled soft, like that porridge is not considered a baked good. Most of the things we do call baked goods are based on grains that have been dried and ground into a fine powder, i.e. flour. Bread is based on flour. Cakes are based on flour. True pastries are based on flour, etc. So, is baking whatever you do with flour? I don't know. Dumplings are usually...
I feel like Adam's reaching for the subject of this podcast. Like, it's not that good of content. Come on. Language is nebulous and contextual. We knew that. Come on.
based on flour, and that's not baking. Gravy is often based on a flour roux, and that's not baking. Pasta is just flour and water. Pasta isn't a baked good. Also, what would flourless cake and cookies be? Like if I make a video about how to make meringue cookies, which are delicious and chewy and naturally gluten-free because they're based on egg white and sugar, not flour. If I make those cookies, you will think of that as being a baking recipe, even though there is no flour. Baking usually involves flour, but flour is not exclusive to baking, and baking is not exclusive to flour. As is generally the case with words, the definitions are less like categories and more like clusters or clouds of associated ideas, all...
Yeah! That was literally what I was about to say. It's just clustering of enough related concepts. You can do this with any word.
Orbiting around a common but undefined, purely theoretical center. Any definition of baking we could hammer out here will have some obvious exceptions. But here's what I think baking is. This is my definition of baking. Baking is when you take a loose mass of food, usually grain flour based, and you convert this loose mass into a solid, usually an airy solid, usually by means of dry, indirect heat. This definition could conceivably include dumplings and noodles and pasta, but those foods are rarely cooked with dry heat, therefore this definition does not favor them. Also, noodles and pasta are not airy on the inside. They are super solid. Dumplings sometimes have a little air on the inside. Noodles and dumplings could fit under my definition, but they would fit more comfortably under some other word's definition. Baking is the act of converting a loose mass of usually flour-based food into a solid, usually an airy solid, usually by means of dry heat. This definition does not exclude meringues and no-bake cookies, but it does not favor them either. I said baking usually involves dry heat. No-bake cookies require no heat, and I did say that baking usually involves grain flour. No flour in meringue cookies. But that's why we say usually in a definition. There are exceptions to the rules. Meringue cookies and no-bake cookies are made to imitate the taste and texture of normal, baked, wheat flour-based cookies. So that's why I would put them in the bakery section. They would fit under the definition of baked goods more comfortably than they would fit under any other term's definition. I think this act of converting a loose blob into a solid is really key to baking. And it's why developing a baking recipe is so much harder than developing most other kinds of recipes. Most other recipes you can change as you go. If I'm working on a stew and I think it's too thick, too stiff, I can just stir in some water or some stock, and the problem is instantly fixed. If the stew is too thin, I can boil it down to evaporate off some water, or I can stir in some starch slurry to thicken it. There's a few fatal mistakes I could make with a stew, like burning it. It's very hard to save a stew after you have let the bottom scorch horribly. It's hard to save a stew into which you have poured way, way too much of some very powerful ingredient, like salt. But even then, if you put in twice as much salt as you want, you could just add more other stuff. More vegetables, more stock, whatever, and just double the mass in the pot to match the double dose of salt that you threw in. It is possible to save. But even that scenario is relatively unlikely, because you probably wouldn't pour double the salt into the stew. There's no reason to guess the amount of salt. You can always stir in more salt. So you start with just a pinch, you stir, you taste, add another little pinch if necessary, and you keep going until it's perfect. Baking isn't like that. Baking involves this magical conversion from liquid to...
I believe it. I believe we're about to see a gorgeous view. Oh, yeah. That is some platonic ideal Frank Lloyd Wright compression and expansion. For those of you that don't know, Frank Lloyd Wright was a prolific architect of the 20th century, and he believed that the key to a pleasant experience of walking through a structure is that you're in a very small place. You feel like it's a small compressed space, and then it suddenly opens up into a big, beautiful space, thereby sort of enhancing your sense of awe. Oh, hello. Who are you? There's a boss gate. There's a tall person. Another lump of metal coming up the stairs. That was funny. Oh, this is great. I love this place. It's gorgeous. Oh my gosh. All right, you can die. That tall person, I mean, I'm probably gonna have no trouble. I'm very over-leveled for this area, but still gonna be careful. I love this game. Still surprising me after... How long has it been? 9 months? 8 months? Same playthrough. It's got to be thousands of hours at this point. Oh my god, that is some reach with that weapon. It looks like a shotel from Dark Souls, but it turns into a whip. That's awesome. Does not do much damage. Yep, not a very powerful enemy. Very cool, though. I wish I was lower level. I really do. I'd like to be intimidated. I'd like to get a chance to see all of the moveset. What's that sound? Oh, hello. Not difficult. I wish it was. All right, back to the show.
Solid. You can stir additional compensatory ingredients into a liquid, but not a solid. Nor can you take ingredients out of a solid. Whatever is in the batter or the dough at the time that it goes into the oven is what's going to come out in your finished solid baked good, and you won't be able to take the salt out if you accidentally doubled it. It's baked into the cake, as it were. Baked into the cake being an idiom meaning irreversible.
Down there is the place that I had cleared. Yeah, that's the Syelfa River well. I haven't been over there. But yeah, that at the base of the pylons of the bridge is it's the place that I cleared, and I was correct. That inverted tower, that was the elevator that deposited me there. I think the one that's directly under the river well. Yeah, yes, Iophra River Well. There it is. Yes, Iophra River Well depths. Directly that away. Can't see it from here, but yeah, that's where it was. It's all coming together. I remember being down here and, looking up and seeing that impressive looking place. Kind of looks like the temple on top of Mount Olympus in Greece. I don't remember the name of it. Parthenon? No, that's in Italy. Is it? I don't know. I'm making a fool of myself. But, this is going to be great. It is a gorgeous view, random commenter. It is beautiful. Okay, back to the show.
Possibly merged. An advertisement that YouTube plays before or after my videos is not baked into the cake. You may see a different ad the next time you watch that video, or you may see no ad at all. In contrast, an ad that I present personally within my video or podcast is
weak metaphor,
baked
Adam.
into the
Weak
cake.
metaphor.
Baking versus cooking. Here's why it's so hard to develop baking recipes. It's because you have to guess. You have to guess on the ingredient proportions and the process and the method and such. And you have to guess on the oven temperature and the oven conditions. You have to make your best guess. And then you have to just let the thing bake for an hour or however long it takes. And then you have to pull it out and let it cool before you can assess how well you guessed. I mean, we make educated guesses based on how flour and water and such generally react in certain proportions, but it's still a best guess. And if you guessed poorly, you have to mix up another batch and go through a whole other 90-minute baking and cooling cycle to find out if you have fixed the problem. In contrast, if my salad...
All right. I'm not sure why those messages disappeared. But, you're gonna find out what's on the other side of this boss fog. Now, let's do it.
I don't see anything. Let's investigate further.
Whoa. That's not that bad. Oh, shit. Oh, shit, it's myself. Oh, that's not good. I'm very powerful. I was just bragging about how over-leveled I am. It's myself. That's not good. Does it do the same amount of damage? Holy shit, that's a lot of damage. It's literally me. I love this. This is a great idea. Why don't I have to be so powerful? Oh my god, all of my health. I am eating my words. I am choking on my own hubris right now. How would I defeat myself? Oh my god. It's like it knows my patterns. I do use those darts to distract people. I do use that ability. I don't two-hand, so that's bullshit. Oh my god. But now you don't have a shield with which to deflect my attacks. Also, not a lot of damage. Mimic tier. Fascinating. Alright, we're both at half health. He can heal? That's not fair. I can heal. Oh my god. Maybe I should try more, my entire stamina bar. Why have I got to be so powerful? I can't do dodge attacks because it's too much stamina.
This is just hilarious.
Wow. So much damage.
That's how we do it.
Just back off, resupply, and go in for another one. Oh, fuck.
Yep.
I like the jump attack. It comes out fast. It has good gap close. Let's do that again. One more. One more. Come on. Yes! We got ourselves. Larval tier. Silver tier mask. Interesting. What is the silver tier mask? Sort by order of acquisition. The silver tier mask, fashioned from the corpse of a formless silver tear, supported by its hardened shed husk, greatly increases arcane to the detriment of physical attack. To imitate the imitator is a cunning play indeed. Yeah, it doesn't sound terribly useful, but it is cool. That was a cool boss fight. So, does it actually level up with you? Like, would that have been the same exact difficulty if I was half my level? Because that felt kind of easy. Most boss fights take me multiple tries. That was my first try.
This is awesome.
Yeah, it did feel, when I was clearing the Syelfra River well, like there was something above me that I just couldn't reach, just out of my grasp. What is that? Oh, shit. I think I know. I think I know who that is. I think that might be Moog.
Legs ahead, but no head ahead.
Likely a god. Yeah, likely a demigod. Spawn of millennia and... Wait, no, Marika and... Oh, I forgot. Completely forgot. One of the Omen twins. I've been watching a lot of Elden Ring lore videos. Is there anything out here? Maybe I should check.
Yeah, I've been down there.
Alright, back to the video.
Dressing needs more vinegar, I know immediately that it needs more vinegar, and I can find out how much more vinegar it needs instantly by just mixing in more vinegar to taste. I will say, you can bring some of that efficiency to the world of baking by tasting your raw batters and doughs. I do that all the time as a matter of like vocational necessity. It comes with some risk of foodborne illness because raw flour and raw eggs can be contaminated with E. coli and such, but people take risks for their jobs all the time, and I am no different. You can, of course, do a quick test bake on a batter. Just fry up like a tiny dollop of it on a pan on your stove. You can, of course, do a quick steam a little cake of it in a bowl in the microwave.
Yes,
that's a great way to test really quickly if you've gotten the salt content right, for example. But the success of a baked good is not limited to its flavor being
together.
Right or off.
I remember being
You're also looking for a dough or a batter to perform in a certain way.
I like the jump
to
attack.
rise big and
fast.
Fluffy in the oven, or to spread thin and crispy, or to steam.
One more.
That's weird.
One more. I just tuned into my own stream for quality control, and I don't hear any sounds from Elden Ring.
Larval tier, silver tier,
which is
bass.
pretty weird because I can see.
Interesting.
What is the silver tier?
I can
see
mask.
It showing up in OBS.
Fry up like
What's up with that?
People take risks for their jobs all the time, and I am no different. You can, of course, do a quick test bake.
Oh, I'm so dumb.
He was in the same thing that, the same browse. Never mind. Ignore me. I'm being dumb.
Or to brown as
Back
much
to the
as
shop.
possible on the outside while keeping the inside almost raw. Or to come out super chewy. Or to come out soft and crumbly and not chewy at all. Or whatever it is you're looking for in the solid mass that you're making from your wet, grain-based mixture. You really can't assess the quality of your dough or your batter recipe until you've baked it up all the way and then cooled it back down again. And by the time you realize something is terribly wrong, it's too late to do anything about it. Your mistake is baked into the cake. You cannot course correct midair when baking, and to me, that's the biggest thing that makes baking so difficult. Baking is like firing an artillery piece. Like, you can spend all day aiming that thing, but once you fire, the shell is going to go wherever it's going to go. You have had your last say in the matter once you've pulled the trigger. It's kind of like parenting. Cooking is usually more like firing a guided missile, where you can steer it from the launch all the way home. A baking recipe and a cooking recipe that I'm developing may each require a dozen course corrections, but with the cooking recipe, I can do all 12 course corrections in the same practice run. With a baking recipe, 12 course corrections means there will be 12 different cakes in my house that day, and most of them
for a little
will
bit
be
because I
bad.
was listening to the stream on the stream. All right. Yeah, everything sounds good. Sorry about that. Let's get back to it. I missed some of the
All the time, and I am no
podcast, so I'm going to go back a little bit.
illness because raw flour and raw eggs can be contaminated with E. coli and such, but people take risks for their jobs all the time, and I am no different.
Let's find out
You
what's
can, of
over
course,
here.
do a quick test bake on a batter. Just fry up like a tiny dollop of it on a pan on your stove, or like steam a little cake of it in a bowl in the microwave. That's a great way to test really quickly if you've gotten the salt content right, for example. But the success of a baked good is not limited to its flavor being right or off. You're also looking for a dough or a batter to perform in a certain way, to rise big and fluffy in the oven, or to spread thin and crispy, or to steam up without browning, or to brown as much as possible on the outside while keeping the inside almost raw, or to come out super chewy, or to come out soft and crumbly and not chewy at all, or whatever it is you're looking for in the solid mass that you're making from your wet, grain-based mixture. You really can't assess the quality of your dough or your batter recipe until you've baked it up all the way and then cooled it back down again. And by the time you realize something is terribly wrong, it's too late to do anything about it. Your mistake is baked into the cake. You cannot course correct midair when baking, and to me, that's the biggest thing that makes baking so difficult. Baking is like firing an artillery piece. Like, you can spend all day aiming that thing, but once you fire, the shell is going to go wherever it's going to go. You have had your last say in the matter once you've pulled the trigger. It's kind of like parenting. Cooking is usually more like firing a guided missile, where you can steer it from the launch all the way home. A baking recipe and a cooking recipe that I'm developing may each require a dozen course corrections, but with the cooking recipe, I can do all 12 course corrections in the same practice run. With a baking recipe, 12 course corrections means there will be 12 different cakes in my house that day, and most of them will be bad. Certainly, we encounter points of no return in our cooking as well as our baking, but far more of them in baking. Here's another thing that makes baking harder. Success is often a little less subjective in baking. Like, if I'm cooking a steak, I might cook it rare, I might cook it medium well, and in either case, I could pass off the result as being intentional, because lots of people like their steak on either end of that spectrum and everywhere in between. And I genuinely like steak at different levels of doneness. Maybe not medium well, but medium rare, or rare.
There's like a whole podcast about steak coming up. kind of tempted to jump straight to that because this is kind of boring, you know? We're just debating semantics, you know? You know what? This is my stream and I can do what I want. So we're going to swap. We're going to swap straight to the one about steak. Ye old steakhouse. You know the the meme where old-timey people said ye old? That's fake. The Y, it's what we mistakenly draw the old dead character Thorn as, because it used to be the letter Thorn, which was like a letter, and then E. And Thorn was the sound TH. So ye should actually be the. It's just the old. There's no such thing as ye. It's the. Anyway, yeah, let's listen to a different podcast. I like when his wife is on the show, you know? It's good chemistry. Let's check this one out instead. That other one was boring. Let's go.
From the greenhouse, it's episode 71 of the Adam Ragusia podcast. Lauren is here.
Hello.
And we are still abuzz from a delicious meal that we had last night at Ye Olde Steakhouse. And that's literally what it is called. Ye Olde Steakhouse.
Oh, hey, I can use my horse. That makes me happy. And that'll make things a little bit quicker. Where did I regain that ability? I'm kind of curious. I'm going to go find out. Nope, I don't have time for that.
We're going to talk about our joyous experience at Ye Olde Steakhouse, just south of Knoxville, Tennessee, in the broader kind of historical, cultural context of the great North American steakhouse institution, of which this is a prime example. It's a prime example.
It was the laugh that you did after the pun.
But no one would have
made it really.
No one would have
tragic.
gotten it. I wouldn't have gotten credit if I had just said prime example. But if I alluded to American grades of beef, of which prime is the highest for the non-US listenership, to explain the joke, because everybody knows the way you make a joke funnier is by explaining it. Yeah.
What is the deal with these tall, lanky motherfuckers with the stockade around their neck? What is that thing? I don't know. What's he gonna say? Lord of Blood, your eminence. I beg you, grant me a seat at the table of the dynasty. Long live the Mogwin dynasty. I've heard of Mog. Is Mogwin just what you call his dynasty? It's funny because it has Gwyn in it, which is the guy from Dark Souls. The Lord of Blood. So that must be Mog's boss arena up there. How do we get there? Not that way. It doesn't appear to be connected. Maybe it's like a teleportation thing. Let's see. That weird-looking stalactite is, that leads up to Kalid. But yeah, how did we get over there? All right.
You did a really good job landing that one.
Sure did. So, Ye Olde Steakhouse was founded in 1968 by a gentleman, I'm not making this up, named Bunt King. Bunt King had an idea to start a fancy steakhouse on a country road called Chapman Highway, south of Knoxville, Tennessee. Some places on the website, it's spelled with a D, as in bunt cake or bunt pan. Other places on their website, there is no D.
Interesting.
I'm guessing that there is no D, and then in one spot, autocorrect changed it to bunt, as in bunt pan.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that's right.
But regardless, the man's name was Bunt King, and their slogan is "Fit for a King." It's good stuff. All right, now,
To someone who has never been to the United States, please explain, to someone in like Slovakia, to DJ Crazy Times or whatever the guy's name is who did the video.
Oh.
Yeah. So explain to a person of a totally foreign cultural context, foreign to you, what a steakhouse is where we live.
It is a restaurant that serves steaks. Different cuts of beef, and you order this. You pick your cut, and you pick how you want it cooked.
Uh-huh.
And then usually, like, you also then pick a side or two.
Classic steakhouse sides usually being
Baked potatoes.
yes, generally lots of forms of potato, but the most important being the baked.
Steamed vegetables. Sometimes you get like your creamed spinach, that kind of thing.
That's the most attention you could hope for a vegetable to receive in
they're
such a steakhouse.
They're like an old school kind of fancy. When going to a fancy restaurant meant you were going to get to eat food you didn't normally eat, not that you were going to get like a fancy experience.
Yeah. Well, I suppose when people trace the lineage of the Great American Steakhouse, there's two big traditions that they usually look at. The first is the pre-existing chop house tradition from England. Chop houses being a form of restaurant that sort of started in London in the, I think the late 17th century it goes back to. And the idea was that you could get a single portion of meat, a single serving of meat cooked to order for you. And that would have been distinct from like, an old school pub or tavern where they might have had a roast going in the back.
Cut off a piece for you.
Yeah, and they'd slice off a piece for you, right? This is something where you can kind of get it grilled to order or however they're going to do it. And it was sort of known as like a working man's lunch, man being key to the concept. Women were generally not allowed in such establishments. It was for sort of dirty men in the middle of their dirty day working down on the Thames docks or whatever. They could swing in and to this like dirty all-male place, get some piece of mutton probably more often, cooked off really quick for them to fuel them, and they would go back to work. And this is at a time when meat consumption in Britain was changing really rapidly, thanks to all of the grain and meat producing capacity of the colonies. As grain, very productive grain producing colonies matured in the Americas, for example, in Canada or elsewhere around the world, more acreage on the actual island of Britain.
Just like that, we're back down to the Syofra River well area. And I don't think we can get back. So, probably gonna have to teleport. That's fine. I have no reason to be down here. I've already cleared it. But that does explain why there was that, this slope, this piece of ruined stone. I wondered when last time I was here, why is that here? Well, now we know. All right, teleporting back up. Oh, a merchant. Hold on. I want to talk to that merchant. Now that I have money, I want to buy everything he's got.
Britain could be dedicated to wool and meat production, and that's where you get the Highland clearances, where they kicked all of the peasants off of the land in the Highlands because it was just more profitable for the landlords to grow sheep there than to have humans paying rent. And that's how a lot of Scottish people got here. So you had new areas of Britain, new pasture opened up for meat production, and at the same time, like New Zealand and Australia got incredibly good at like shipping meat literally across the world. And all of that meant that like meat was now affordable to that working Joe in a way that it had not previously been. What do you call a working Joe in England? Surely that's not what they say. What do they say?
I have no idea.
Your average Daily Mail reader. Let's see if that translates, Brits. But anyways, So there's the chop house tradition, which fully came over to the United States with English settlers. And then there's also the beefsteak banquet, which would have been like not a restaurant, but like a fancy private dining tradition where if you wanted to show your friends how rich you were and how to entertain them, you would have a beefsteak banquet. Which I think probably initially would have been done in private homes, and then you would have had establishments that kind of existed for catering beefsteak banquets that were the opposite of like dirty. They would have been like really, really, really fancy and incredibly expensive, and I guess would have allowed women in some cases, whatever the person throwing the party would want. And so it's sort of kind of those two traditions that get schmooshed into the Great American Steakhouse, which is a category of restaurant in which there is incredibly wide variety. You know, everything from like very inexpensive kind of family style operations to
white tablecloths, china.
A place where like a steak will run, a normal steak will run, $200, or more. And Ye Olde Steakhouse, south of Knoxville, Tennessee on Chapman Highway, recently ranked best steakhouse in the SEC.
Oh, that's actually a really big deal.
Explain that one to somebody in Slovakia.
So, American football at the college level.
Gridiron football, yes, not soccer.
Yes, American football.
Oh, yes.
Is played at the college level in conferences, and the Southeastern Conference, or the SEC, has long been the most competitive and biggest tradition and market of all college football, and the towns that host the different college teams are very competitive with one another about who has the better college town and better college atmosphere. I think Knoxville is very lucky to be a big city, so we have lots to offer.
Oh, yeah.
Including Ye Olde Steakhouse out on Chapman Highway.
Because steakhouses are a very big part of the college football tradition, right?
Yeah, steakhouses and barbecue, probably the two big ones.
Well, it's like steakhouse is the upper market option. Like if you have rich parents, they're coming to visit you homecoming weekend for a college football game. They'll take you to the steakhouse.
Well, it's also, they can be places where like the people who have the cultural capital to know what the good places are will have standing reservations for football weekends.
Dang.
And,
the way you put that was...
So it can, in some ways, be sort of a sign of cultural capital, classism, etc.
Yeah.
Wealth.
And the wealth to know that it's not weird that you're walking into a place with, like, a red and white checkered tablecloth, which would be not an indication of a high-class establishment. Like, really, like paper napkins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You could walk into a place like that, and the steaks are still $200, and you're rich enough and experienced enough to know why that is the case, right? Whereas
you're not going to walk in and be like, what the heck?
Yeah, somebody less cultured would be like, look at the menu, and they'd be like, what? Because you can get a steak for $12 elsewhere in the United States.
At the Outback.
Yeah. It's probably more than $12 nowadays.
Probably $9. I bet they have.
It's one banana. What could it cost?
I bet the steak.
$10.
I bet the steak dinner at Outback is like $19.99 still. Maybe like $22.99.
Right.
That's my guess. Now the Ye Olde Steakhouse is more in the like your
middle market.
Your base steaks are going to be like your lower level steaks are going to be like $50, and then they go up from there.
But there's no, I don't recall there being a steak that was more than $100. There might have been like one, but it's not, they don't have their own dry aging program in the basement or anything like that. It's pretty basic.
They're not putting on airs.
Yeah.
At Ye Olde Steakhouse.
No, they are not. And yet, people we went right when they opened on a Saturday at 4 p.m. There was already a line out the door. Mm-hmm. There were not one, but two parking lot attendants.
Yeah.
Working the parking lot to make sure that everybody gets in and out.
Maximize the parking area, because It's like set literally off the side of the highway.
It's a road. It's an
like
old we call it a roadside
Yeah.
place in the United
It's
States.
like two car lengths off of whizzing cars.
It's
going
that kind of
by.
place where the parking lot in front, directly in front of the establishment,
It's just one
takes
row.
up the entire width
Yeah.
of the.
Got a little bit distracted, but basically I'm trying to find that merchant. I think he's in here. It's kind of a dangerous place to be. I don't like getting poisoned. You know, I used to have a incantation that could cleanse me of that. Yeah, flame cleanse me. Why can't I use that? Is it because I'm not wielding the correct glintstone staff? Yeah, weird. Haru! Need to talk to you about it. Or I could just look it up. Okay, where's that merchant? Behind me. What? Where? Is one of these an illusory wall? I've seen him before. What elevation is he at? He should be right over here, right? Yeah, I can literally hear his violin. So he must be in there somewhere. But how do I get in there? Okay, it must be from the other side. I'll try going around. Ball.
Shoulder in
But it's
between.
like set, and then it's like set into the side of like a hill / mountain.
Completely covered in kudzu, which
Yeah, and so you like go up and park behind it, but then you could theoretically like walk right off the hill onto the roof of the restaurant. In fact, one of our kids was like, "Let's go on the roof." I was like, "No,
No.
we're not doing that."
So we're talking about a pretty no-frills place for a pretty no-frills steak, and yet it was completely packed. It takes skill to do that. And if only skilled people were willing to share their skills with you and I.
Well done.
Anywho, so ye olde steakhouse. Ragusia tangent.
Nice.
Great.
No.
You're gonna love it.
I'm
Skill
so
share
excited.
ads here.
Ye old.
Oh.
Did they actually spell it like Y-E-E and then old with an E at the end, oldie? Did they actually used to do that in the olden times? Or is that like a modern affectation?
Okay.
Where's
here's-
your money go?
Here's my question. Are you asking me, but secretly you know the answer?
I know the answer,
Okay.
but I want to see where you would put your money down. Like, is that a legitimately old thing, or is it a fake new thing? Ye oldie. Calling some kind of business establishment ye oldie as a means of indicating some ancient pedigree.
I don't feel like businesses were called that. I feel like that was like an idiom of the time.
Which time?
The old times.
Okay, so you think it's like a real thing, right?
Sure.
Okay, so it sorta is, but mostly.
All right, we found the merchant. Beautiful violin. Or is that more like the Japanese version? I completely forget what it's called. Oh, I never noticed. There's a little hand on his bowstring. I don't remember what that's called.
Good customer.
Looks like a back scratcher. Bow. It's just called a bow. Purchase. Soap. Oh, I love soap. Give me all your soap. Give me all your butterflies. I already bought all his keys. Oh, that's very useful. Shotel. Fuh.
Goodbye.
I think I'm good on that. I don't use ranged weapons, and I'm pretty happy with the weapons I have. Alright! That was good. Now, I need to transport to Nokran. That sounds good. Mimic tier. Yes, I do want to go to the Mimic tier. Also, I do actually need to use the restroom, so I'm gonna go ahead and play some fun glitch hop music. Then I'll be right back. That sounds like a plan. Let me just get that music in here. Yes. I want the Fat Rat. Actually, no. You know what? I want synthwave. But which synthwave? I want Race Against Sunset. All right, we'll be right back. right. I'm not late. I'm back on time, I swear. God damn, I just dropped the little gummy thing that goes on my headphones. I gotta find that real quick. One sec. One second. It looks done when I did that, so I'm just gonna go back to the text real quick. I'm still here. I swear, I gotta like super glue the little gummy tip of my earbuds to the earbud itself, because it always comes out. Sometimes it comes out in my ear. I have to like fish it out with tweezers. I cannot find it. I'm looking all over the floor. Okay, I found it. It's deep under my desk. Okay, I got it. Mission accomplished. All right. Plug in my keyboard. All right. We're ready to go. Boy, I would love to make like some sort of a data pipeline for streaming that allows you to have multiple inputs on different delays. I think OBS lets you do that with certain scenes, like the whole scene. But that's the thing, you can't do it with individual components of the scene. Can you? Hold on. Okay, I'm actually going to try that. Oh, hi there, kitty cat. Adorable kitty cat, by the way. Okay. Let me check. So here I am in OBS. We're playing Elden Ring. Can I delay certain inputs? Filters. Video delay. Okay, but what about the audio? It would need to be both the audio and the video. Filters. Okay. Okay, let's see if we can do this. I just put a delay on the sound of 5,000 milliseconds. If it's anything like the video, it might not allow you to do that. It might require that you okay, delay 5,000 milliseconds. Does that do anything? here I am playing Elden Ring. Oh, gotta boot up my controller. I'm moving around in Elden Ring, and it is delayed. Oh my gosh, that's actually working. Wait, is it 5 seconds delayed? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it is. That's amazing. What about the audio? No, the audio is not delayed. Well, that's a problem. Oh, do I have to add audio delay? Video delay. No, I want audio delay. Hold on, I'm gonna try Googling it. Actually, DuckDuckGo. OBS audio delay. Click the cog next to the source in Mixer. Well, there's advanced audio properties. Okay, advanced audio properties. Oh, there it is. Advanced audio properties. Wait. Oh, sync offset. Is that it? It is. It's sync offset. How high does it go? 5,000 milliseconds? Nope, that's not it. Huh. Negative 5,000? It doesn't let you put the negative in it. Okay. So hold on. What's going on here? What happens when I hit the wall? Well, I tried it. I actually can't hear a thing. Oh wait, that was exactly what I wanted. I heard the whistle. So it's not perfect, but it's pretty close. Now let's get me reacting to something. Okay, I'm jumping off my horse now. Is it the correct? All right, let's just wait. I'm looking. Oh my God, it's actually working. Okay, everything's on a 5-second delay. This is great. You can actually get my live reaction to stuff in the game. This is great. Okay. Fantastic. Nice. All right. Let's get back to it, you know? Let's just get back to playing the game. Starting with getting rid of that music. And we're gonna play the game, we're gonna resume the podcast. And what was I doing? I was just exploring. Yep. All right, back to it. We have a delay now. Good job, team.
It's fake.
Okay.
And it's old fake, meaning that according to the Oxford English Dictionary, like it kind of intentionally affected use of ye olde in order to make something sound older than it actually is. That goes back to like the 19th century.
Oh.
People have been doing that. So it's new ye olde. Or it's old new ye olde. And then in terms of like the actual words, we use ye to mean the, right? The definite article the old steakhouse. That's not what ye meant. Ye meant you as a second person
Right.
plural pronoun, I think. You all is what it means, y'all, I guess. And then old, yes, in some very old spellings had an E at the end, but not very commonly. And the reason, however, that ye came to be used as a the in this context is that early movable type printers, which were built in Germany, and therefore not with the English alphabet.
Thorn. It's got to be Thorn. I said that earlier. So he's talking about typewriters. So yeah, they didn't want to stock the Thorn, so that's my guess. They just sort of used the Y as a thorn because they look a little bit similar, like not exactly, but anyway, that's my guess. Let's see.
Lacked the letter thorn, which is an old a letter that English
is that the
used
one
to
that
have.
looked like V?
Hey, I got it. There was Thorn. Nice. Wizzi got it.
I like how you did like a really cool looking V for victory when you did that. People on home video can appreciate that. Yeah, no.
It's kind of interesting that the what do you call these guys? I forget, but these nature guys, they're not glowing. They were glowing down below, and now they're rendered in like real, like they're here. They're not ethereal. Down below they were all sort of ethereal, but here they're real. I wonder what the lore is for that. Is there a lore reason why they're ethereal?
It looked more like a backwards P or a 9 or something.
Oh, okay.
And it was for the TH sound, right? So the was spelled with a thorn. The printing presses did not have a thorn, and the closest character, visually speaking, was the Y. So they often used a Y instead of a thorn, and that's how people got the impression that ye is an old English way to say the. Whereas in fact, although that was an old English way to spell the, it was never an old English way to pronounce the, because they were always using the Y as a stand-in for the thorn, which is pronounced the. Now, aren't you glad you waited around for that? Mm-hmm. Come on. That was good. That's what people come to me for. That's not what you come to me for.
No.
That's what everybody else comes to me for, to the extent that they come to me at all.
It's a little hot and a little late.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were like, oh, it's getting hot in here.
No.
Ooh, keep talking all that etymology to me, boy. Damn. All right.
It's getting
So
hot in here.
So hot. All right. We did the etymology tangent. Ye Olde Steakhouse.
Did we do the etymology?
Did we? Could we really say that we did that? So we're to describe the interior of Ye Olde Steakhouse.
It looks like a log cabin meets barn.
Yeah. It's very barny in its brown, very aggressive in its brown woodiness on the interior, and then which is like kind of indicate used in like American vernacular architecture to indicate kind of manly ruggedness, like because if you were to go and stake out a claim on the frontier, i.e. attempt to steal land from some native people, the first thing that a man would do is he would build a log cabin from all of the trees that he is felling to create places to farm, as though native people did not clear fields with fire and had not done so for many, many, many centuries. But anyways, so it's supposed to like look rugged and manly, but it has these window treatments on it.
Oh yeah, they're very like modern.
Woo, night sacred ground. That's a separate area, apparently. I guess the part with the sort of nature, the beasts and the tall guys with the horns, that must be separate from this sort of gothic city stuff. Kind of reminds me of Bloodborne. I said that earlier. Rejuvenating boluses. All right. Yeah. Let's explore the Gothic city a little bit. It's distinctly different. Rune art. Has anyone it's a dumb question, but honestly, it's weird that I've gotten this far in the game and there's still just Godric's rune. Like, is Godric's rune like the only rune in the game? It's weird. Why did I just get souls? Oh shit, I don't have my headphones on. So for hearing the game, I don't know if y'all know this, but it's a dual PC setup. Yeah, I've got wireless earbuds to interface with the streaming PC, and some headphones that go over those for listening to the game. It's like a 2 earbuds setup. Oh hell yeah! We just got confirmation that we're going to be having a chat in a little bit. We're going to talk about politics. That's a passion of mine. I don't know if you knew that. Wizzi has multiple passions. Programming, Elden Ring, and politics. What are you doing? What is this tier doing? Mimic tier. Mimicking a person with no armor and a mace. Doing respectable damage, actually. I have a great shield and very high stats. Okay, yeah, not that much damage. I was letting her hit me, just so you know. Okay, yeah. I am still overleveled for this area. Alright. There we go. We got the silver tier. What do we get out of it? Anything? No? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I'll have to spend a little bit of time setting that up, but once we do, yeah, we're going to talk to a graduate student of anthropology, where we're going to talk about unipolarity versus multipolarity. I know that's a little bit of a deviation for this stream, but honestly, I'd like to do that more often. I'd like to have political conversations with smart people. I think that could be fun. But not just now. We're going to wait probably 30 minutes. Let me ask. I proposed 30 minutes. In the meantime, more cooking podcast? That's what I was planning on doing.
Medieval. Like, they have their heavy drapes with valances at the top. Definitely.
That's what that's called? The sort of like pediment of drape on the top is a valance?
Yeah, and they I don't know, your great grandmother probably had them, and if she was a little fancy, had them in her house.
Yeah. And you don't see them anywhere anymore.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
because they get dirty and smelly, right?
Yeah, they get real dusty, and then if they hang in the window, over time they fade.
Yeah. But there is when I was trying.
I'm sorry, what are they talking about? I have literally no idea what they're talking about. We go back just a little bit.
Clear fields with fire and had not done so for many centuries. But anyways, so it's supposed to like look rugged and manly, but it has these window treatments on it. Oh
yeah, they're very like modern medieval. Like they have their heavy drapes with valances at the top. Definitely.
That's what that's called? The sort of like pediment of drape on the top is a valance?
Yeah, and they I don't know, your great grandmother probably had them, and if she was a little fancy, had them in her house.
Yeah. And you don't see them anywhere anymore.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
because they get dirty and smelly, right?
Yeah, they get real dusty, and then if they hang in the window, over time they fade.
Yeah. But there is when I was trying to kind of find the historical antecedents for the modern American classic steakhouse, one thing that I found was
black wet blade. Sounds like fun.
Like chop houses where famously they never cleared the cobwebs off the ceiling. And what they would do is actually, over decades, cultivate a carpet of cobweb hanging off the ceiling that they would even like trim to keep it from getting into men's hats and stuff like that. Kind of disgusting, right?
Yeah. It's such a shame they didn't let women
It's such a shame they didn't let women. Exactly. Can't imagine why women
weren't clamoring.
Clamoring,
to get in
yeah,
there.
exactly. Saying respect our rights to be in there with the cobwebs.
They're like,
Oh my God, it's a ball. It's just a giant fucking ball. Okay, nope, I don't want to get bunked by the ball. I would prefer to not get bunked by the ball. Okay, okay, yeah, get bonked by your own ball. That's a great plan. Oh shit. Okay. I mistimed that. I guess I'm not that good at escaping a slowly rolling ball. That's a new one. I have not seen that before. That's something else.
Shit, I'm really far from there. So where am I? Okay, yeah, I'm here. And I need to get down there. Okay, we're good. Everything's fine. Plus, it's not that many souls anyway. I'm over-leveled for the area, so it's probably only like 30,000
honey,
souls.
you
Yeah.
can have that.
Oh, so that is sort of, that's a historical anecdote that I think is remembered chiefly because it is disgusting. But I do want to raise a possibility that it might have actually functioned as an air filter in there. Because like what is like a HEPA filter or something, but like a big mass of filaments to which particles can stick.
Maybe, yeah.
And I mean, especially before they had sort of modern ventilation and they're back there frying off steaks, there would have been oil droplets, you know, just
That's
filling.
disgusting.
And I think it all would have sort of passed through the filter of the ceiling. And I wonder if big curtains used to sort of do a similar function in restaurants,
Oh, gross.
which is kind of disgusting to think about.
Yeah, now that I think about it, those curtains at although they did have a very big and effective vent hood.
They did.
So,
Well, Ye Old Steakhouse did burn to the ground.
all the way to the ground?
Not all the way to the ground.
Okay.
It was gutted, was the word used in the news report in 2002. And all I could find about that, by the way, was a news report saying that it was a teenager who did it,
Oh.
who had been a busboy there, and was like emotionally troubled kid, and did it, and then ended up, whatever deal they did with the prosecutor meant that this kid got charged as an adult, and ended up doing years for it, but was still able to leave with his record expunged for which it's like, I guess that's the deal that they offered.
Yeah.
But it's like, what the hell are you doing? Like a kid, yes, yeah, a troubled kid started a fire. That's not a good thing. But the notion that for years a child was incarcerated for that is so unbelievably offensive to my sense of justice that, oh God, okay, unbelievably. So,
I'm sorry, what was a child incarcerated for years for?
It's such a shame they didn't let women
it's such a shame
go.
they let women, exactly, can't imagine why women
Yeah. Had them in if she was a little fan. I don't
fire cop houses where see a carpet of cutting and
they didn't let women
it's such a
go.
shame they let women, kind of disgusting, right?
Yeah. It's such a shame they didn't let women
It's such a shame
go.
they let women, exactly, can't imagine why women
weren't clamoring to get in
yeah,
there.
exactly, saying respect our rights to be in there with the cobwebs.
They're like, oh, honey, you
Yeah.
can have that.
Oh, so that is sort of, that's a historical anecdote that I think is remembered chiefly because it is disgusting. But I do want to raise a possibility that it might have actually functioned as an air filter in there. Because like what is like a HEPA filter or something, but like a big mass of filaments to which particles can stick.
Maybe, yeah.
And I mean, especially before they had sort of modern ventilation and they're back there frying off steaks, there would have been oil droplets, you know, just filling. And I think it all would have sort of passed through the filter of the ceiling.
That's pretty funny.
And I wonder if big curtains used to sort of do a similar function in restaurants,
Oh, gross.
which is kind of disgusting to think about.
Yeah, now that I think about it, those curtains at although they did have a very big and effective vent hood.
They did.
So,
Well, Ye Old Steakhouse did burn to the ground.
all the way to the ground?
Not all the way to the ground. It was gutted, was the word used in the news report in 2002. And all I could find about that, by the way, was a news report
steak.
saying that it was a teenager who did it,
Oh.
who had been a busboy there, and was like emotionally troubled kid, and did it, and then ended up, whatever deal they did with the prosecutor meant that this kid got charged as an adult, and ended up doing years for it. But was still
gonna
able to
attack the
leave with
ball.
his record expunged for which it's like, I guess that's the deal that they offered. But it's like, what the hell are you doing? Like a kid, yes, yeah, a troubled kid started a fire. That's not a good thing.
Yeah.
I got the ball.
But the notion that
Nice.
for years a child was
Larval
incarcerated for
tear.
that
Hey,
is
I love
so
larval tears.
unbelievably offensive to my sense of justice that. Oh God. Okay.
That's another.
Okay, so a child was incarcerated because they were a busboy at the Ye Oldie Steakhouse, and they set a fire which spread and burned the whole place. I mean, it's pretty fucked up that the kid set the fire, but kids have like tiny brains. I understand maybe he didn't know the consequences of his actions. How old are we talking, though? It's hard to say. I don't know. I don't believe in punitive justice. I believe in restorative justice. And to be clear, that means I don't believe that criminals should be punished because it makes us feel like they're getting what they deserve. I believe that they should get whatever it takes to make them a better fit in society. Like you don't want to cut off your nose to spite your face. You don't want to just, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. You want to do whatever makes society function the best. And to the extent that a criminal can be rehabilitated, that's good for society, to turn a criminal behavior into non-criminal behavior. So, oh, hello. I guess these things can just turn into whatever? Interesting. So, when they're in their silver form, they're weak and easy to kill, but if they turn into something scary, less so. Fascinating. Still pretty weak, though. Not a huge threat to me.
Other tangent.
It is. Well, that's what we do around here. So,
Can we talk about the food?
yeah, so the food. We ordered our steaks,
We got an appetizer.
got an appetizer of
Grilled
some
shrimp with drawn butter.
Yeah, which it was done a little bit. I think it might have been that like we were so early that all the creosote hadn't been kind of knocked off the grill yet. So like these shrimp came back, which are fish. I ought not have corrected myself just then.
They're mollusks.
Are they not? Are those not shellfish?
Wait, shrimp are fish? Adam, shrimp are not fish. Shrimp are crustaceans, which are mollusks, which are not fish. I'm fairly certain.
Are shellfish not fish?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Now I want to know.
All right, well, you look that up. It's not like we're doing a podcast or anything. So, yeah, those shrimp came out kind of blackened, even though they weren't blackened. They had like black dust on them, which was a little bit unfortunate, but everything else we had from the grill was fantastic. The way that such a steak is usually prepared in such an establishment is with tons and tons of drawn butter ladled on top of it. Drawn butter being butter that has been
Oh my god, it's a troll. This mimic tier has mimicked a troll. That's a lot of health. I'll give him that much. The good thing is I am very practiced at defeating trolls at this point. They've been around since the very beginning of the game. So, not that hard to dodge his attacks. Yeah, get your sword out. Makes you feel like a big man. You are a big man. Undeniably, you are actually a big man. But I know how to defeat you. It's just timed blocking and attacking. That's a reference to a YouTube video making fun of Dark Souls. But yeah, no big deal. I do like the idea of the mimic tiers, though. They're like, they can be whatever. It's like a mystery box, you know? This is fun. I wonder if we'll get to the Halig tree today. I definitely don't want to like try to go up against Moog tonight. Actually, probably get a stop exploring Nokron pretty soon, and we'll go give the Halig tree a shot. Oh, first, I do actually want... How many souls do I have? 113,625. That's not that many. That's like a third of a level. Imagine saying that like 6 months ago. I would have punched myself in the face. That's a lot of souls to me 6 months ago. Anyway, I do also want to defeat the boss in the catacombs at the top of the mountaintop of the giants, because I hear there's something good at the end of the catacombs. I hear that you can get the cold sword that those... Oh, there's a teleportation gate. Maybe that takes us to Moab. Okay, hold on. What's up here? Oh, a treasure chest. And what do we have here? The Finger Slayer Blade. And a great ghost glovewort. Alright. What was I saying? Oh yeah, those things that I farm, they're cold, they're tall, they're skinny, they kind of look like the dancer from Dark Souls 3. We should play Dark Souls 3. That sword that they use, the cold sword, that's what you can get. So I'm gonna go through this teleportation thing. If there is a site of grace on the other side, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna get out of Nokron. Oh, what? That was a... Oh. Okay. Well, there is a site of grace, so that counts. We're gonna go defeat the catacombs at the top of the mountaintop of the giants. Goodbye, Nokron. How do we get there? There it is. Giant Conquering Hero's Grave. We're gonna defeat that real quick. I already did everything up until the boss arena. And it was actually very confusing because in order to finish the dungeon, well, I'll just show you when we get there. Hey, that's not very nice. Get out of here. Let me get my my hand lantern. That's what it was called in Bloodborne. What's it called in this one? Just a lantern. Okay. I'd love to play Bloodborne on stream sometime. I have a capture card. I have a PS4. I have Bloodborne. My PS4 has this, like, this issue. Maybe there's, like, dust in the button, but it makes the eject button press itself randomly. So you could literally be playing the game, and the disc will eject itself, and you'll just be quit out of the game. And then it'll be like, why did you eject the game while you were playing it? I didn't. That was the eject button acting erroneously. I should break it open, and I should just cut all of the wires leading to the eject button. You don't need the eject button. There's a software option to eject. But wouldn't it be funny if cutting the wires to the eject button made the software option not work? I don't think that's how it works. Alright, I'm not actually paying attention, and therefore I'm almost dying, so I'm thinking maybe I'll restart. I'm forced to restart, because I died to an objectively terrifying enemy. That is a cool enemy. I like it. Okay, back to the podcast.
Brought to a boil so that all of the milk solids coagulate and then fall to the bottom. And then you can either pour off the pure fat that's on top, or you can ladle it off in the physical action of drawing. You are drawing it off. Hence it is called drawn butter. So yeah, grilling a steak really hot by pouring drawn butter over it, that is hardly new. What I did see that I had not seen in person before, though I've heard of it happening, was when I went to go pick up one of the kids and, like, you know, pick them up on my shoulder to show them the grill. Mm-hmm. And I saw the grillman's secret at Ye Olde Steakhouse, which is that they have a big cauldron of water into which they put all of the meat to be grilled. And it looks like it's hot water. It's like cooking them, you know, it's like simmering. Oh. It's like this simmering stock, basically. And all of the steaks to be cooked next are like lined up in this simmering broth. And I think it gives them a head start, so it doesn't take so long to grill, and it can also maybe, you know, grill it a little more evenly. And then it also, I don't know this, but I wonder if it like yields an incredible beef stock at the end of the night, because lots of the things that we ate clearly had like beef stock or beef stock flavoring in it that was very scrumptious, and I wonder if that's where it emanates from. But I had not seen that before. That was interesting. And I know, and I'm not impugning Ye Olde Steakhouse at all. I think that's a clever technique, and it works, and that's good.
By the way, shellfish
Yes.
are not technically fish.
Okay.
They are biologically different from fish.
Wow. Okay.
Now you know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you're supposed to do more. It's gonna be a whole tangent. You gotta like turn it into like
Okay.
a little miniature narrative thread.
I just asked Google.
Oh, okay.
You did to do research before these.
Yeah, I know.
I want everyone watching to know that, like, the thing is that I come into this fresh.
It's true, yeah.
And you come into it heavily researched. And so...
I know, but you were looking at your phone for a long time.
Well, because there...
Oh, you'd moved on to the next thing?
No. It was confused because it was like, well, shellfish are seafood, and I was like, that I don't care about. I want to know
unless they're freshwater shellfish. Oh, that's my favorite thing on the internet is when people get mad at me for describing
freshwater
fish as being seafood, but it's like
colloquial.
Yes, exactly. Because what I could say that would be correct is I could say aquatic food. But doesn't really, yeah.
That's dumb. But anyway, back to me.
You come into this cold.
Yeah, I just
unlike
want
your hot steak, which is what we should really be talking about.
Well, I just want everyone to know that I'm not like sometimes I worry that sometimes I come off as like a bobble-headed idiot, and it's just that I have not spent my whole Sunday.
I know.
Researching
this pod,
the history of steakhouses.
You know who we're
I just
like?
ate at the steakhouse.
You know who we're like? We are like, Donna and what's his name? Josh from the West Wing.
Where I'm like, Josh, tell me
Yes.
about the legislative process. I've only worked in Washington for 6 years.
Yeah.
I know nothing.
Yes, you are the canvas onto which I vomit my exposition.
Yes, I serve up the. I do the layups for the yeah.
And it's worth pointing out that I asked her to do this because I think
I just missed my elevator because I wanted that grave violet. Oh yeah, so this is the place that tripped me up, and apparently it tripped up a bunch of other people too, because there were a lot of people on the internet asking, how do you beat the conquering giant's hero's grave? Is that what this is called? Giant conquering hero's grave. Yeah, so this elevator column has one of those light casting statues on it. And so this circle here on the ground, which you need to defeat... Oh. Okay, I guess that was a mini-boss. There was a troll over there. Like one of those big trolls. It doesn't cast a shadow. It doesn't cast its light on the ground unless you do that. Unless you trigger the elevator to move up. And then... There it is. And it casts its light on the ground. So, FYI, if you're having trouble defeating the conquering giant's hero's grave... Is that what it's called? I did it again. Giant conquering hero's grave. You need to activate the elevator. Also, it has this little enclave in it, which you can ride down if you want. But no need, because I already defeated everything here, and I just need to beeline for the boss room, which I've heard is the same sort of cold Zamor warriors that I've been farming. Zamor is what they called the projectiles fired by the Paraka and Toa Inaika from Bionicle. That's a rare Wizzi Bionicle fact. Bionicle fact. You didn't know this until now, but I'm big into Bionicle, or at least I used to be. Someday, maybe we'll talk about Bionicle some more. Okay, what's going on? What's going on? What do we got? Oh, well, I'm really good at fighting these guys. So, what's the issue? I can fight these guys in my sleep. I can fight them with my eyes closed. Just need one more heavy attack. Ah, he dodged it. Okay, let's try that again. I'm honestly not that worried. I have so much practice with these guys. Like, literally, like 100... Oh, that's new. That's new. That's new. What is he doing? I don't like it. I don't like how cold his sword is. I just want to... Oh my god. It hits right through my shield with its cold energy. Okay, that I'm used to. Let's just do another one of those. This is fun. I have not seen that one before. Okay, this is fun. It's like familiar, but different. Same, but different. I don't know where that means from, actually. Yes! Okay, that was a little anticlimactic, but we got him! We got him, and we got the Zamor curved sword. And the armor. That is cool. After literal months of farming them, we finally have their gear. I was wondering why they never dropped anything. Yeah, it's because you're supposed to go down here to get it. Nice meme. Whoops. Okay, return to entrance. All right. Let's check out the Hair Lake tree and have some fun down there. And we might call it a night. What time is it? 11:20 Pacific. Doxed. I'm in the Pacific time zone. I want to go down there. I want to go where the spires are. I want to go where the spires are. Like from The Little Mermaid. I want to see them spiring Okay, time to teleport to the Grand Lift. I'm gonna take another quick break. Use the restroom. Maybe get a snack. Oh, by the way, sorry to disappoint, but that graduate student of anthropology, we're not going to be talking to him tonight. But another night this week, I think we're gonna try to make that happen. Yeah. So let me put on some more synthwave, and yeah, I'll be back in. Whoops. Let's call it 10 minutes. Yeah. All right. Cool. and we're ready to play some more. We're ready to go check out the Halig tree. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. But we're going to go with that. We're going to go with Halig tree, and we're going to go explore it. Let me just fade out that music real quick. Connect my keyboard. And we're ready to rock. So, I gotta level with you. This is not actually my first time descending into the what do you even call it? I don't know. The area to which the Halig tree belongs. Hey, come on. Okay, like controller is booted up. And we're rolling. Okay, like I was saying, I have to level with you. This is not my first time. I did it once before on stream, but I fucked up the stream and I had myself on mute. So I scrapped that whole stream. But yeah, basically, let me just show you. So, inventory, key items, medallion. There we go. Okay. Dectus, rolled. Okay, yeah. Rolled medallion. Conjoined medallion. Brandishing this medallion activates the great lift of rolled, connecting Lanedale to the mountaintops of the giants. The forge of the Flame of Ruin is said to be found upon their peaks, and it is here Melina wishes to travel in resuming your journey together. But then you have the Halig Tree Secret Medallion, left and right. Brandishing this medallion, with both halves conjoined, will activate the Grand Lift of Rolled, same lift, granting access to a hidden path. In other words, the secret medallion will guide the bearer to the lands of Miquella's Halig Tree. Now, I know from watching the lore videos that Miquella is brother to Millennia and Melina. So similar. I won't get into the lore right now, but basically, you see how there's a switch action option? If I were to hoist a medallion, it would take us up to the mountain tops of the giants. But if you switch action, you can hoist the secret medallion. And that should take us to the land of the Halig Tree, the last area yet to be revealed on the map. So let's do that. Hoist the secret medallion. Let's go.
Oh, gotta put on my headphones.
Oh, and I should turn on the volume for Elden Ring. Nice. The eyes have turned green. Don't remember if that's what they did last time. I know that the medallion had a red jewel in the original medallion. Oh, it's going up? I thought it would go down. So it's going partially up? I don't know. Doesn't matter. And just like that, we should have arrived at the correct altitude to explore this new area. All right. So, yeah, I've been here before. It looks like a catacombs. I have not been far. I've been, like, barely farther than this. There's a statue of America, a stake of America, America. And then there's, yeah, these doors. I pushed them open. That was the big reveal. That you're still underground. And there's a very deep well. And then I went over here. And I fought that thing. Just hit it in the beak. That's its weakness. You hit it in the beak. You do a bunch of damage. Buff, how dare you vomit on me? One more. Nice. One more. That should do it. This one does have a lot more health than the rest. I can tell that we're about to enter an area with significantly higher leveled enemies than the area we were just exploring. Quite a bit more difficult. Alright, so that is exactly how far I got before. And maybe I killed this guy. And that is the extent of my experience. Everything from this point forward is brand new. Of course, I've fought this type of person before. What is this? That's nothing. Oh, hello. You are... What is happening? Oh, I guess I was caught off guard. I guess... Okay, that's a lot of enemies to fight at once. Not terribly scared, but, yeah, let's just back off. Give him a little room. Heal up. Buff the weapon, block, and guard attack. That's how you do it. Hit him in the face. That didn't work. There we go. Buff the weapon and visceral attack. At least that's what it's called in Bloodborne. I don't know what it's called in this game. Alright. Now, I suspect that these catacombs will open out into the tundra at some point soon. Sleep. Why did they say sleep? Freezing grace. Very cool. We're having a good time. Hey, a site of grace. And a door to the outside, just as I predicted. Excellent. Sorry, I was just looking at myself in the mirror. Okay. Consecrated snowfield. So that's what it's called. I've been wanting to come here forever. I want the map fragment. I want to fill in my map at the final piece of the puzzle. It is very foggy here, very hard to see. That is a large golden rune. Okay. I'm just gonna explore this place. Let's put the podcast back on. How's that sound?
She's delightful, chiefly. It's
There we
the
go.
canvas onto which I vomit my exposition.
Yes, I serve up the. I do the layups for the yeah.
And it's worth pointing out that I asked her to do this because I think she's delightful, chiefly, but also because like I can't be unscripted by myself. You've seen me try it. It doesn't work. Anyways, hot meat is what we're here to talk about. So usually because it's like well rested, the meat will come on a hot plate, and it like sort of the most famous chain American steakhouse called Ruth's Chris, because it was a woman named Ruth who bought a steakhouse named after a guy named Chris, which is all true. Like they'll actually serve it on a sizzle plate, like a plate that that was like under the broiler or something.
As does the Outback and Western Sizzler.
Yeah. So you just put fresh butter over top this hot plate, and it sizzles like hell, and it makes it sound like the steak is hot off the grill.
Like fajitas.
Which of course it's not. You wouldn't want your steak to be hot off the grill because it should rest. But most people are dumb, and they just want it to be, they think sizzling means good.
Yeah.
So you create the sizzle, and at the same time, the sizzle reheats the steak slightly after it is rested. Yes. It's a brilliant system. And then they'll ladle some more butter on top, maybe. And so your fillet came like swimming in drawn butter, which was pretty awesome, I must say.
So then you could run your pieces through the river.
Through the river of butter. Yeah, exactly. I went for the prime rib.
Yeah, you did.
Because I said to the lady working there.
So the lights lead the path. Maybe there's a way to clear the fog. I'm going to follow the lights, and then maybe there'll be an option to clear the fog. Yeah, this makes sense. You go to one light, and the next light becomes visible. That makes sense. Oh, very nice. A sight of grace. Feels like we just discovered one of those. There's another light. Feel like there should be an enemy around here somewhere. Can I use... I can. My horse. Torrent. Ride like the wind. Oh, hello. It's a frost snail. Cool. All right. Where's my next light? There they are. Going northeast. That makes... Oh my gosh. There's a whole caravan of enemies. That was sudden. What is this guy? He's got so much health. It's a Kaiden Knight. This is... I haven't fought these enemies for a while. Got him. No more Kaiden Knight. Oh, there's the whole mix of enemies here. All sorts of people. Stop with your horn blowing. All right. Where'd they go? Where's the caravan? Where's the trolls? There it is. Anything to be looted? Nope. The trolls are still pulling it even though nobody's instructing them to. Well, this is cool. I mean, I don't particularly like it because of how foggy it is. I would love to find out how to clear the fog. That would be nice.
Also, golden seeds don't matter to me anymore because I've already upgraded my flask to the maximum. Alright, I'm gonna kill these trolls. I know they didn't do anything to me, but, you know, just for completionism's sake. Whoops. There we go. Oh, I didn't do that much damage. He's cowering. Well, now I feel bad. It's just a game. Is the other troll just standing there? Yep. Oh my god, they've speared him through the gut. Oh, I'll free him from his miserable existence and take some souls from their trouble. Nice. I really wish I could see better. I also wish that that caravan had some loot in it. What an interesting area. I just wish I could see. Oh. These guys always point the way to a catacombs. There must be one. That way. I guess I'll try going that way. We're going southeast, Smill. Oh. Ooh. What? And we're at a cliff. I would love to find the map fragment. That would be nice. Alright, I'm just gonna venture farther in. Try to follow the lights. And continue the show.
Who seemed like she had worked there her entire adult life, in a good way, like in a really good way. Like she knew this place inside and out.
She was no nonsense.
Yeah, no nonsense. And she was just like, well, you know, we're a steakhouse, but like, we're, you know, our specialty is our prime.
What is El Fayel? I'll just keep following the lights, I guess.
Rib. So I got the prime rib, and the prime rib, it's funny because like your mother was eating a ribeye steak across from me, and that's the exact same piece of meat, just prepared radically different ways, right? Where like for a ribeye steak, you cut the meat before you cook it. With a prime rib, you cook the meat before you cut it. It's that simple, right? But they roast it for a very long time at a low temperature, and it kind of tenderizes a little bit, gets these really roast meaty flavors that I suspect maybe are from like stock granules rubbed on the outside MPW style, or they might be using real beef stock that they make in-house. I don't know what they do, but they get like, I'm not complaining about it either way. In any case, got that like really hardcore, like almost soup-like beef flavor.
Yes.
You know?
How did you order your prime rib?
Medium rare.
Medium rare.
Yeah. As one does. And the great thing about it when you get like that at a classic steakhouse is that it's served in a rimmed plate so that it's swimming in the jus, the broth. You know, which should at a really good place not be brown, which indicates it's just like it's basically just reduced beef stock or something that they've got in the back. At a good place, it should be pink tinged.
So everyone thinks it's blood, but it's not.
It's actually juices from...
See the video.
See the video that I did about that. Exactly, yes. So here at Ye Olde Steakhouse, it was pink-tinged liquid. And at the same time, it also tasted like Campbell's beef soup in a good way, in the way that I wanted.
Adam drank. He lifted his plate.
Damn, I
have a
lost the
video.
trail.
Were you embarrassed?
I did notice that there was a man to your
what is
right
this?
at the next table who was looking at
hello.
you with what I
creepy
felt was
face
envy and
ball.
admiration because it seemed
Full of
like
fireworks.
his wife would not have allowed that to happen.
But it could also have been disgust, right?
I don't think
okay.
so.
All right.
No, he kind of looked like attaboy. He's an older man.
Now, normally you'd have baked potato
Yes.
at such an establishment. And in fact, I believe the use, the classic steakhouse presentation of the baked potato wrapped in
Aluminum
foil was
And
like
then split open.
an innovation of the steakhouse, because they found that if this new product in the world, this aluminum foil, if you wrap the potato in that, you could just leave it in the oven under a heat lamp all day and it would not
Yeah.
dry out. But I got, what were those potatoes called?
Woodshed
Woodshed
potatoes.
potatoes. I was going to say
Yeah.
sawdust potatoes.
They were like half moons of potatoes, like pretty thin, not too thin sliced, but with sauteed with caramelized onions, and then like a thick cracked pepper
Yeah.
all over.
Loved that.
They were decadent.
I think had been cooked with some beef stock.
Yeah, they were so good.
Oh my God, that was the best potato dish I've had in quite some time,
Yeah.
including those cooked by me for videos.
I can genuinely say I don't think I've ever seen anything like that at another restaurant or
Yeah.
had anything like that. Like,
It-
that was a new product for me.
It had that taste of pepper, black pepper, where you're like, oh, most of the times when I put pepper into things, I don't taste it at all.
Yeah, it was like...
Because you're like, oh, this taste, this aggressive black pepper taste, I never noticed this in all of the things that I put black pepper in.
Yeah,
This is what it actually tastes like.
It was like pepper spicy,
Yeah,
peppery.
smacking you in the face.
Yeah, it was good.
Hell yeah. What was that called again one more time?
Woodshed
potatoes at
potatoes.
Ye Olde Steakhouse.
gotta get
5-star
those, yeah.
unironic review.
Yeah.
Takes skill to produce such a side. We need to discuss any remaining culinary things. How would you rate your steak?
Sorry, that was hilarious.
I had to lean her in toward the microphone,
Sorry.
people listening.
As I get relaxed, I lean back into my chair, and I'm not supposed to
You're
do that.
not supposed to be relaxed.
Because then on camera I look wee, and also you can't hear me. So the piece of meat was excellent. Like it was a fillet. It was very tender.
Tough to screw up.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I prefer the steaks that you make. They are more flavorful.
Right. This is a place where they're more trying to like highlight the beef.
Yeah, it is meat flavored.
Which is good, but to me, at this point in my life, I mean, I'm glad that Ye Olde Steakhouse has like not changed at all
Yeah.
in 60 years. That's really, really good. I don't want it to change. I don't want it to modernize.
Yeah.
I want Ye Olde Steakhouse to remain as ye olde as possible. But if I go to a steakhouse, especially one where I'm going to spend a lot more than that, like, hundreds of dollars for a steak,
I want them to spoon the butter and garlic and rosemary over my steak. like you do.
Oh yeah, sure. So you can do sort of like more aggressive butter, like a Peter Luger, which is one of the prototypical Great American Steakhouses. Sort of their steaks swimming in butter.
Well, no, like when you
Ruth's
cook,
Chris swimming in butter.
But like
Yeah.
you do the rosemary
really
and the garlic
need
into
to
the
get
pan,
rid
and you
of
tilt the
this
pan, and then you're
snowstorm.
like spooning the butter, and
Yeah, I mostly do that because it looks hot.
it tastes hot too.
But yeah, you can put garlic in there. Usually they wouldn't
Yeah.
do garlic in a place like this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is I
Right.
want the garlic and the rosemary.
Well, what I really want is I
want.
want dry aged. Okay. At this
Oh.
point, I think we've pretty well established that like that kind of beef experience where like you just want to take it's no it's just a cut of meat that has been cooked until done, and you're there to taste the beef. I think it's pretty well established that as much as anything can be objectively true in food, I think it's pretty well established that most people who really love steak want a steak that has been not only dry aged, but dry aged for sufficient time. Like there's lots of dry aged beef on the market that's been dry aged like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And you get some enzymatic tenderization with that kind of dry aging, but you don't get any of the like lipid oxidation or the breakdown of proteins into glutamic acids that creates umami. All that stuff happens over like much longer time scales and often requires, specialized microflora and fauna. No, what are fungi? Microorganisms. Microorganisms, that's what I'm looking for. The inclusive term.
So glad I could
Thank
help.
you. Microorganisms. To get like a really great dry aged product. And this is a place where they're still kind of serving, prime, great beef, prime beef in the case of the steaks that are actually graded prime or whatever they're selling. Really good product, but they're just kind of taking it out of the bag and cutting it and grilling it. And I just sort of, I think I want more than that these days. I also, and I was really glad I got the prime rib for this reason, I'm just really over burnt taste as a feature of your classic grilled steak dinner.
Mine did not have that.
Didn't have much.
Yeah.
Didn't have much.
I ordered mine medium, and I would say it came medium rare, which is fine. That's why I always order it medium,
Yeah.
because less than medium rare, and I'm not eating it.
So you presume that most
If it-
slightly less capable grillmen will overshoot the mark?
They'll undershoot. So if I
Oh.
order it medium, I'm gonna like it fine, which is like a little pink in the middle.
Yeah.
If they undershoot it, then it'll be medium rare, and I can do that too.
Yeah.
But if I order it medium rare and they undershoot it, then it'll be rare, and I don't want it. And I
Yeah.
also do not want to send it back.
Yeah.
So I'll just be sad.
Yeah.
But so I tend, even though I like medium rare, I usually order my steaks medium unless it's like a really, really fancy, like the kind of place where like the grill man is going to be berated mercilessly by an evil chef if he gets it wrong. Like those are the
Looks like
places
the
where your steaks can be
storm
right every time.
is
Right.
breaking
This is a place
little
where like a
bit.
guy in a Call of Duty t-shirt is like turning steaks over
He was
all
wearing
night
a Call
long.
of Duty
I should go back
t-shirt.
And he did a great job,
yeah.
but like
Hello.
I understand that he's not
Sight
gonna
of
bat
grace.
1,000. Nobody does,
Yeah.
and he might miss, and so I ordered.
And it was
medium.
all old school. I didn't see any thermometers. That dude's doing
No,
everything
no.
by touch. And,
Yeah.
And he pretty much nailed it. I
Yeah.
mean, from what I saw.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah, that was really good.
That looks
but
like a map
I
fragment.
just think that
North
like,
northwest. Let's go.
Steak snobbery or steak high level cultivated steak appreciation
No.
has really coalesced around the broiler.
It is a map fragment. So happy to see that. All right. Oh, it's beautiful. It's the fully completed map of Elden Ring. What is that? That must be the Halig tree. It's got towers around it. Fascinating. Oh no, that's the Halig tree. So what is that? How do I get over there? What is that? Okay. So I'm here. There's the river. Same one as from the mountaintop. There's a castle. Whatever that is. This is cool. So this whole area just had a snowstorm in it. I would like to see the hay lake tree. Is that this? What is this? No, it's over here. What was that? Oh, it's a wolf. All right. East. Eastward bound. That's us. I want to see this tree that I've heard so much about. Albinaric. Frog people. Fish people? Innsmouth people. No big deal. How dare you spit on me? Well, I have a lot of souls. I mean runes. What is that? That's the castle. Very ghostly. Why do we associate pale green light with ghosts? That must be from film. At some point, someone at Universal decided to use that in a horror movie and just became kind of a mimetic trope. Kept down.
Slash grill. Mm-hmm. Yeah, slash indirect heat. Oh no, direct. Sorry, what is that? That's direct conductive heat? No. What the hell is that? A thing that's a really hot thing that heats your steak from above without touching it.
A broiler.
Yeah, or like a salamander is what they might call it
Yeah.
in a restaurant nowadays. They're much more intense. Super hot, right? Get thousands of degrees, right? But that's really the best way to cook a steak. Because, you know, you can still get that deep roasted flavor that you wouldn't be able to get at home, but it doesn't have the like creosote, that kind of, you know, burnt taste of the grill. I think the grill that's yesterday's method, best left in the past. Though, again, I'm very glad that there are places like Eoldi that preserve little bubbles of the past, and I
Yeah.
don't want it to change one
The
bit.
thing about Ye Old Steakhouse is that there are two kind of groups of customers there.
Yeah.
There are people for whom that's what they've always known for steak. That is the meal they are going there for. Like, that's what they want.
Yeah.
And then there's a group of people who go there for the whole restaurant experience feeling retro and vintage.
Yes.
And not to laugh at it, not ironically.
Yeah, there's nothing ironic about this place at all.
To genuinely enjoy, like, we weren't going there to make fun of that place. We were going there to enjoy a good steak.
Yeah.
And in a whole, you know, soup to nuts experience of
The
like.
crackers. Did we talk about the crackers?
Oh, we forgot about. Okay, so instead of a bread basket, Ye Old Steakhouse, you get to the table and it's a wicker basket filled with
individually wrapped.
captain's wafers. You know,
Yeah.
the little.
Oh, this is a dead Erd tree. That's depressing. This is very much not the hay lake tree. So this is a dead Erd tree. So that must be the hay lake tree.
Two in a package.
I remember going to restaurants used to
Yeah,
have those.
they would come, like, everyone at the table when you were a kid would get a salad.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, can I have your crackers? Can I have your crackers?
Yeah.
You'd be like
And
collecting.
you'd totally fill up on crackers before you actually had to eat your dinner.
Which is what our children did.
Yeah.
And
But at
then
this place, there was crackers and...
it was pub cheese, I think.
Yeah, this
It
like
was,
orange cheese spread. That was
sort of soft.
Yeah.
My mom loves it.
It was not pimento cheese. Don't
No.
write us in to say
It was
that.
like pub cheese.
Yeah, it was a homogenous mixture.
Like, okay, so like Wisconsinites will understand. Midwestern people, you get a cheese ball with the nuts on the outside, and inside is like a bright neon orange cheese.
Yeah.
It was the
Okay,
inside
yeah.
of a cheese ball.
And when you spread it on the crackers, what it tasted exactly like, and I was in elementary school again, was Handy Snacks. Remember
Yeah.
Handy Snacks? Mm-hmm. There's this little little snack pack, prepackaged snack pack that had a little orange piece of plastic in it, red piece of plastic in it
they
that you
don't
would
have
use to spread.
They don't have the spreader in them
Oh,
anymore.
you can't.
You just dip the
some kid
crackers.
probably choked on it. Yeah.
Oh, it's just unnecessary plastic.
Oh,
They're
I guess
trying
there's
to
that
downsize.
too. Yeah. What'd your mom?
Oh shit! That's a avatar of an Erd tree here. That makes sense. Of course, there's an Erd tree here, so there would be an avatar here. I'm good with that. I can kill one of these. I've done it like 10 times before. Of course, this guy's spewing out this weird rotted blood, which I don't love. Is there a direction that he doesn't spew the rotted blood? Oh, fuck. Let's try that again, because... Oh, nice. There is a Stake of America. Consecrated snowfield. I think after I kill this avatar of the Erd Tree, we're going to stop playing Elden Ring. Possibly we're going to stop streaming. Or, here's a crazy idea. I might go back on what I said and do a little bit of programming. See, I have this project. And there's a lot of layers to this project. But the fact is, it would require me to learn how to program an Android app. I already know how to program Android apps. It would require me to learn how to program an Android app that can display itself on top of other Android apps. And I don't currently know how to do that. So I was thinking, tonight, maybe tomorrow, we do a little YouTube tutorial. A little Android app displaying over other Android app tutorial. And then basically the plan would be that we would have the app displaying over another app, have it read the accessibility layer of the phone. It would require a lot of permissions to do that. Oh, nice. You just have to get behind him. And then communicate with a fast API server running on AWS. And that is the basic framework for Wigli. the personal assistant that can use your phone for you. Oh, hell yeah. We got a visceral attack. Critical attack, that's what it's called in Elden Ring. Feeling good about this. Oh, fuck. Right when I say that. Oh, fuck! Attack! First he hits you, then he explodes, then the fragments of the explosion shoot lasers at you. It's a 3-stage attack, and I was not ready for that. I forgot that was even possible. All right, I'm gonna turn off the podcast real quick. Like the video window, get that out of here. There, now you can see what we're working with. Cause yeah, I think we're done with podcasts for the time being. Come on, where's the third one? Could have sworn there was a third one. We're doing some good damage. Did I forget to turn the music on? I feel like I did. I'm not sure the music on. I know it's not a priority right now, but it's a priority for me. Oh yeah. I can't believe I didn't have that on this whole time. I'm almost dead. Let's put some distance between us. Alright, we're back in the game. Rolling through the attacks. Running backwards. Getting attacks in where we can. Get behind him when he does the splash attack. We got this. Oh, that's the one I don't like. Okay. Running sideways. That's one strategy. Yeah, that one. I don't like that one. Oh, fuck. Okay, what is the strategy when he does that? You gotta dodge the first 2 attacks, and then my best guess is run sideways. So I'll keep trying that. I'm gonna have to go soon, I think. Nice. Let's try this again. Where did it go? Where's the avatar? Huh. Okay, serious question. Where's the avatar? I want pancakes. I can just do that.
I can just make those. Wait, no, I can't. 'Cause my cooktop is broken. No joke. My stove. So I rent an apartment, like most American young people, and my burner, which is like one of those old-fashioned coils, it cracked. It cracked in half. It was a long time coming, but yeah, I think it was ceramic, and I know the ceramic doesn't expand or contract much when it heats up and cools down, but it does a little bit. And so yeah, over time, this little defect grew and became more and more pronounced until one day, that being this day, oh, there he is. It just cracked in half, and now I have no stovetop, so no pancakes. Sad Wizzi. Oh, I just walked into that. Walked into that too. Come on, up your game. That's more like it. That's better. Nice, nice, nice. Bad start. Good middle. Almost halfway. Oh, that's the one I don't like. Run sideways! Not bad. Dodged all of the laser beams. Feeling good. I should be less reluctant to use my basic attack. I keep trying to go for the heavy attack. I should just use my basic attack more. I think we might have him. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to get overconfident. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Run sideways! Okay, nice. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Keep it up. Wizzi! We're so close. Just stay on my game a little bit longer. Run sideways! Oh no! Heal. Go in for the attack. Back off. Oh, fuck! I rolled at the wrong time. Okay, okay, okay. So close. So close. I feel like one more attempt and we got this. I'll kill these tree spirits. These guys are worth low best souls, aren't they? How much are they worth? Oh, 1,600? Yeah, that's respectable. That's something. I definitely don't want to lose those, what was it, like 3,300 souls? Better known as 330,000 souls. That's almost a level right there. And at my level, that's a lot. There he is. Alright, can I sneak behind him and get my souls? Oh, that's in front of him. I don't think I can. I'm gonna try. Nope. Got him. Putrid Avatar. I love using a great shield. I can mitigate so much damage with it. Feeling good. Keep it up. Keep it up. Whoops. Tanked that one. And roll behind. Heavy attack. Ooh, visceral attack. That's how you do it. That attack is a massive poise breaker. I don't want him to use his lightning bolt attack. Ah, right as I say that, he uses it. Oh shit, I need to heal. Oh, fuck. Come on. Come on. I'm getting sloppy. Alright. So close. So close. Don't get cocky. Got him. Hell yeah. We killed the putrid avatar of the consecrated snowfield. Good job, team. Got some crystal tears. That feels good. We did it. Makes me wonder, why does the avatar still protect the tree if the tree is dead? But he's not a regular avatar. He's a putrid avatar. So I guess the rot afflicted him as well? It's interesting. It is quite interesting. All right. Oh my gosh, that was worth a lot of souls, wasn't it? We have almost 500,000. Maybe just to cap things off, I'll go farm for a bit until I've earned 2 levels. How does that sound? Let's teleport to the Zamor ruins and farm a bit. Let me listen to that podcast. Oh, my phone is so far away. Okay, I'm gonna take another quick break. I'm gonna go to the restroom. I'm gonna get my phone. And then I think we're gonna farm. And then we'll probably call it a night. Alright. Be right back. All right, and back. I swear that timer keeps me accountable. Tone down the music a little bit. All right, so yeah, I do actually have to go. We're gonna do one farming run, and then I think we're gonna call it good. So let's see. Turn on the controller. How many souls we got? How many runes we got? Why can't I see? Show me my runes. That's weird. My controller's not working. Okay, 1 second. Technical difficulties. Gotta remote into that computer. Maybe try disconnecting and reconnecting the controller. All right, disconnected it. Reconnected it. Huh, still not letting me use my Y key. That is weird. In fact, nothing is working except the sticks. Okay, I guess I gotta try restarting Elden Ring. I'll try using the keyboard to restart it. All right, return to desktop. I do actually have to go, so maybe I should just stop. You know, that was not a bad stopping point. We killed the putrid avatar of the consecrated snowfield Erd tree. It feels pretty good. I would love to stream again tomorrow. Like I said, it's my weekend. I would love to maybe work on that Android app. Is there anything else I should be working on? My website. No, I really want to make Wigli. It's like so important. Also, the ray tracing engine. That would be fun. All right. Like I said, let's do one farming run. And let's watch a little bit more.
Tell you about
of that
the pub
podcast.
cheese?
Because my mom has been going here for, we've lived in
Whoops.
the area for 40 years, I guess. How old am I? 40?
There we
So
go.
35 years.
Right.
32 years. And that it used to be they had these like Crocs that
She's
had the
40?
cheese in it. And
Wow.
the cheese would like go from table to table.
Oh, like a thing of ketchup that you reuse.
I think so.
Whoa.
And then now they're
a jug of cheese
now they're
was
in,
passed around like
in-
ketchup.
Yeah, or maybe I don't know. I have to. What did she say? Okay, she says 20 years ago they put the pub cheese in little Crocs that I'm assuming got moved from table to table. The pandemic taught us how gross that was. Then they were washed and refilled. Oh, no, yeah, they went from table to table, and when they were out, they were washed and refilled. The individual pub cheese container is a nod to the pandemic.
Wow.
Which, thank you.
Yeah.
That seems...
I bet it was fine. I mean, my guess is that
Have you
substance was so high fat and so high salt that like nothing could live in there.
Yuck. Yuck.
And let's also make room for the possibility that your mom's memory might not be totally correct. We might be slandering a
No,
business.
yeah, I'm sure.
Maybe that was a
yeah.
single serving of
I
cheese
totally
for each
believe
table.
it happened, and I'm sure it was fine. But also, I'm glad that now they give you an individual plastic cup
Yeah.
of the cheese spread.
But crock, visually, that would be nice. I we did not go to places like that when I was a kid. When I was a kid, we went to places the like places that were designed.
All of these enemies have golden eyes. They're all worth so many souls. 2,500 to be exact. No, 25,000. Like 8 enemies at 25,000 each. That's 200k. Now they're not all that much, but still, we might actually make it to 2 levels right just off of this. How much do we need for 2 levels? 1 level is 357. 2 levels, maybe like 370. So that's a total of 727,000. Okay, yeah, that's quite a bit more. So it's like 20 minutes. I don't have time for that. I gotta go in like 5 minutes. So let's just finish killing these guys. And then we'll sign off for the night, yeah. It has been a fantastic stream. Honestly, one of the best that I've had. Ah, fuck. I fucked that one up. Nice. Like I said, I'm getting really good at killing these guys. Alright, 2 more. And then the stream is over. Just aggro that one. Swing the sword around a bit. Yeah, come over here. Nice. Nice. Ah, I missed. Missed again. Missed again. Now we've lost our streak. That's fine. One more. And then we'll call it a night. This has been a truly fantastic stream. We explored Nopron. We explored the consecrated snowfield. We beat the putrid avatar of the consecrated snowfield. And we watched some fun podcasts. We talked about having a nice conversation with a graduate student of anthropology. Didn't actually do that. We talked about Wigli, which I cannot wait to develop. All right, I'll put 1 level into intelligence. Level 30. Nice. All right, that should do it for tonight. Good job, team. That was a truly fantastic stream. All right. Get Adam and Lauren off the screen there. All right. Well, like I said, I'll try to stream tomorrow. We'll see. And yeah, if I don't see you, I hope you have a great week. And yeah, again, just a fantastic stream. I had a great time. I hope you did too. And see you guys next time. Peace.